And welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Steins. In the last episode, Rintaro discovered two of the changes to the world line that Faris D-Mail have had. The first one is that Faris is now participating in official Rhinet tournaments, where in the previous world line she was doing an unofficial underground tournament at the maid cafe where she worked, known as May Queen Yan Yan. Speaking of which, that brings us to the second and more drastic change that has happened to the city of Akihabara. May Queen Yan Yan is no more, as is any other, well, not just any other, but every other moe or anime store in the town of Akihabara has completely been replaced by the electronic stores that used to be there before the moe culture took a hold of the town. Sorry about that. And where was I going? This is important because Faris said that she was actually instrumental in the development of the town when she was a little girl. And given the fact that her family was basically the ones that built the town in the first place, that is quite a lot of influential power there. And yet, for some reason, Faris D-Mail has completely negated all the moe culture that she was responsible for spreading throughout Akihabara. I almost feel guilty about it, but since I'm the only one who remembers the original Akiba, nobody can blame me. And it's not like I can change it back. But still, what in the world did Faris D-Mail say? The next morning I go for a stroll through the streets of Akiba. All the old electronic stores. Obviously that's a play on Sony, that's a play on Panasonic. What I discover is that although the chaotic energy familiar to me has receded, at its core Akiba is still Akiba. The few electronic stores I used to frequent are all still here. In fact, they've multiplied. You can still hear their loud theme songs and the cries of the salesmen all the way from the sidewalk. Electronics otaku and PC maniacs walk the streets with unkempt hair, wrinkled clothes, and eyes burning with intense purposes. I don't want to jinx myself, but maybe this might actually be somewhat of a blessing for us, in the fact that it might be easier to track down a IBM 5100. Although something is telling me, my intuition is telling me that that is quite the proverbial long shot. There are even cheerful foreigners taking in the sights. The maids and young female otaku have disappeared, but the hobbyist essence of the town is unchanged. I admit it's a relief. Yesterday I heard from Mayuri about how we met Faris on this world line. I was wondering, since May Queen no longer exists, that's probably a very good question. And apparently we've unlocked an achievement, Genius Girl's Melancholy. Being here. I don't know about the Steins thing, but maybe Chaos Theory can explain how you derailed my life, lol. At any rate, take responsibility for getting me involved. I believe that, actually thinking back to my notes, that we've actually nailed with the our last reply to Kurisu's previous email. We've actually gotten the first flag of the true ending, but we can't reply to that particular email. We still have 5 more flags to go, unfortunately. There was a small Rhinet tournament out at a toy store in Ikebukuro. We went to cheer on Daru, but he dropped out due to can't speak properly, due to a stomachache, so Mayuri and I ended up taking his place. Our opponent was Faris. We got crushed, needless to say, but Mayuri says that Faris was very gracious and gave us advice on how to play. So even though the circumstances of our acquaintance of Faris have been completely rewritten through this world line, the fact that we are still acquaintances with Faris have not changed. And that was the beginning of the beautiful friendship between Mayuri and Faris. Our past has changed considerably, yet we still ended up with the same close relationship we had on the last world line. Fascinating. Maybe Lady Luck is looking out for us, maybe... then again, maybe not. Apparently I've got mail. From a gibberish email source. We're watching you.
なんだこれ?
That's rather ominous. It's a picture of a red jelly on a plate. Now we could just write this off as a prank, but it could very well be spam there, Rintaro, but why red gelatin? Who's watching me? I don't even have a first clue to that. I spin around, searching the crowd. A few passers-by look at me strangely. I don't care. Something is definitely wrong. Goosebumps break out over my body.
機関かそれともセブン
Could it be either one of those, Rintaro? If so, then this mail is a threat. Now I don't know about the organization in particular, but if it's CERN, then that probably would make more sense. My pulse skyrockets. Now the reason I think that is because now it's just suddenly come back to me. Jellyman's report. The people who got turned into gelatin after being sent through CERN's as yet incomplete time machine. And remember the gel bananas that were teleported via the PhoneWave TBA. What do we do indeed? We should probably tell the Future Gadget Laboratory. I think we're feeling pretty involved at this point. As much as I would love to tell you so, I don't think it is, Rintaro. That's a terrible idea. The last thing we should do is ignore it. What if it is serious? We should take it seriously, is what we should do. Are the men in black coming? Unless they have a neuralizer and their names are Agents K and J, I don't think so, because I don't think we've been delving into alien technology. If CERN have the power of time travel, and if they somehow manage to alter the past world lines the same way we have, or similar to how we have, they could literally erase us from existence. In any other situation, that would be the first thing to do. Unfortunately, in our situation, the police almost certainly will not believe us. And we don't have any evidence. A picture of a red gelatine would not be enough. We need to talk to somebody. Anybody. Thoughts spin inside my head. Every pedestrian looks like an enemy. I flee the crowd. We should probably get back to the lab. After I manage to calm myself down, I head back to the lab. For now, I'll write that mail off as a prank. Hopefully we don't forget about it. It's still early. Well, actually it's noon. But Mayuri, Kurisu and Ruka are already at the lab when I return. I greet them, trying to keep the anxiety out of my voice. We should probably at least talk to Kurisu.
ずいぶん暇そうだな、ラボメンガールズよ。
Now as to what Obon is, it's a Japanese holiday in which people return to their hometown to see parents and relatives. This includes paying respect to family members who have passed away by visiting and cleaning their graves. And yet they're all still here. The two cute high school girls wave to me in greeting. By the way, one of these girls is actually a boy, although we have yet to actually determine that, whether or not, we sure actually have to find a way of verifying whether or not Rukago's gender experiment actually worked. In any case, the sight warms my heart, or would be, if not for a certain assistant who just gives me a bored look before going back to reading.
何をしているのだ?
Mayuri and Ruka were sitting next to each other on the sofa, reading a book. It looks like a cosplay photo album. So that's consistent with the current worldline, seeing as how there is no anime or cosplay stores whatsoever in Akihabara. Mayuri now has to go all the way to Nakano in order to get cosplay albums and the like. And she apparently found one that she is really interested in. As for what Blood Tune is, you can read it for yourself. I don't exactly know exactly what these are referencing, so I see. She's showing it to Ruka as part of his re-education. If memory serves, Ruka was clearly embarrassed and upset by having to perform Mayuri's cosplay. To think that he was so reluctant to get involved in cosplay. Looks like Mayuri's persistence has paid off. Actually, judging by his own obvious interest in the photo album, maybe he was already interested in cosplay, just too shy to cosplay himself. And Kurisu is rather nonchalant when it comes to cosplay. Looks like she's not interested. She just goes the cold, Instead, she's reading a difficult-looking English book. This is no sign to be showing off your intelligence. You're going to make Mayuri cry if you talk to her like that. I think Mayuri is pretty occupied with Ruka at the moment. Or so I thought, but she doesn't seem to mind, so I stay out of it. And they apparently, Mayuri and Ruka seem to be really getting into the photo album now. Hey now, Mayuri, what are you saying? It's like you're referring to Daru with that remark.
だからね、胸なんてなくても自信持っていいんだよ。
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be drinking. That's what happens when you drink coffee or soda and then something like that happens. Kurisu starts choking on her coffee. I know how she feels. I almost did a spit take with my soda. Mayuri's advice lacks a certain element of persuasion there. So, enough said.
一緒に海に遊びに行こうよ。せっかく夏なんだしね。マユシーもずっとコス作りしてて、夏休みはちっとも遊べてないもん。
It's probably a good idea, and right now Rintaro actually does need to relax after the ominous text message that we received.
クリスちゃん、どうかな。ラボメンのみんなで海。
I'm pretty sure that Daru would be all in favor of it. As for Kurisu, though, she's probably not quite interested.
私は行かないわよ。もう少ししたらアメリカに帰らなきゃ。荷造りもまだしてないから、そんな余裕はない。
Indeed, and you probably should get a plane ticket as soon as possible if you want to return.
確かに。ラボでのんびりと読書をしているほどだからな。よほど余裕がないと見える。
And Rintaro once again stoking the flames, stoking the rivalry between himself and Kurisu. Kurisu snaps her book shut and glares at me.
だったらはっきり言わせてもらう。変態野郎二人と一緒に海水浴なんて言ってられるか。
I figured
女
as
子メンバ
much.
ー限定というなら喜んで参加させてもらうわ。
Yeah, about that. We do actually have something to talk about you that we should probably discuss.
素直になったらどうだ、クリスティーナ。私は伝部の猛虎犯を男子に見られたくないので一緒には行けませんと。
猛虎犯なんてないわよ。
Yeah, Rintaro's
そもそも女子メンバー限定な
Chinibo
らば
imagination is
そこのルカ
running
子も無理では
wild.
ないか。
Yeah, about the whole talking about Rukiko to Kurisu in private, we should probably should not have let that little cat out of the bag.
何それ。どういう意味。
この前わざわざ教えてやっただろう。ルカ子は正真正銘の男だとな。
And it appears that Rintaro has thrown his previous caution to the wind. In his attempts to try and upstage Kurisu Makase, he has completely neglected the fact that of Rukiko's D-Mail experiment. My declaration of the truth freezes the air instantly, and everything has become inverted. There's something off about the reaction. We probably should have realized that before the moment we uttered those words.
最悪ね、あんた。女の子に向かって男呼ばわりなんて。
We should probably talk about this outside of the lab. Away from
そうだ
Rukiko.
よ。おかり、そういうこと言うのはね、マユシ好きじゃないな。
I don't know about you, Rintaro, but their reactions, they seem to imply that, well, even Mayuri condemns me. Rukiko, meanwhile, turns pale and hangs his head so I can't see his face. I think maybe we are the ones who have jumped to conclusions here, because the behavior would actually seem to indicate that, well, if their reactions are genuine, then that would mean that in this 1 in a million odds chance that in this timeline, or world line I should say, a D-Mail experiment to change Rukako's biological gender from a boy to a girl has actually succeeded. And I sincerely hope that Rintaro actually comes to this realization. But then again, knowing Haru and Kiyoma, he's a bit slow on the uptake sometimes. Is he crying? Normally he'd be depressed and say something about how embarrassed he'd be to wear a swimsuit, but he wouldn't start
クリスティ
crying.
ーナお前が現実から目を背けたくなるのはわかる。ルカ子は男でありながらとても可憐だからな。
This is no time to be playing the role of the insane mad scientist, Rintaro. You're forgetting something important. Sir, the D-Mail before Faris's.
岡部
Kurisu's advances on me with a stern glare? What? Oh, not glare, but there shouldn't actually be the apostrophe S there. That's
私にへんてこなあだ名をつけるぐらいなら冗談で済むからいいけど、いや本当は良くないが、今のあんたの言い草は冗談になってない。
If Kurisu was angry before, she's definitely livid
他人を
now.
傷つけるようなやつじゃないと思ってたけど、違ったみたいね。今のあんたは本気で最低よ。
え
What did I do to deserve this tongue lashing? Use your neural electrons, Rintaro, and figure it out for yourself.
謝りなさい。今すぐ漆原さんに謝りなさい。
いやいや、謝るも何も俺は真実しか言ってな。
And it is at this moment, right here, that Rintaro Okabe suddenly realizes he fucked up.
いいんです。
Or at least I hope he does. Rukako gets up from the sofa. His head is still hanging and his voice is barely audible.
岡部さんにそういう風に見られてたんですね。
Something about Ruka's behavior there should be a dead giveaway. It should be a flag.
そういう風ではなく、ルカ子、お前は男だろ。それともお前まで現実逃避に走ったか？
Apparently, Rintaro has not forgotten. And sadly, Kurisu is probably right here. Different worldline, Rintaro.
ルカちゃ
Different
んは
worldline.
女の子なのにオカリンひどいよ。
というかマユリよ。
By the
な
time
ぜお前は急にルカ子
Rintaro
の呼び方をルカ君からルカちゃんに変えた？
yeah, unfortunately things have been going by so fast. What with Faris D-Mail, the changes to Akihabara, and the sudden image of the red gelatin
岡
that
部、
we have
いつまで続ける気？
already
彼女は
forgotten.
女の子よ。
Piece of advice, Rintaro. Listen to them. They are actually telling you the truth, as in the truth of this particular world line. Mayuri nods in agreement. And Rintaro still hasn't gotten a clue. Rukako's D-Mail. Remember it. He can't hear me.
帰ります。
And Rukako is now completely upset. Rukako tries to slip by me out of the lab. I grab his hand to stop him from leaving.
待てルカ子、俺を担ぐのはよせ。お前は正真正銘の男だ。なぜならここに。
Yeah, we probably should have verified this another way. But unfortunately, I pin Rukako's arms and reach for his genitals. Let's see what you're hiding down Nothing.
Oh?
Remember what I said before? I retract that statement. This is the moment where Rintaro Okabe, the insane mad scientist Ho Inkiyoma, realizes he fucked up.
おおおおおえあれなんで
岡部さん、やめてください。
Not in this timeline, not in this world line. So now we learned the truth too late. That Rukako's D-Mail did work. Even though Rukako Urushibara kind of looks very similar to his male self, or her male self, I should say, since this world line's Rukako is apparently a girl. Yeah. Probably should have realized that a bit sooner. Yes, Wei.
Rukako.
The D-Mail worked.
What?
Should probably mention that right now. We sent a D-Mail that changed you from a boy to a girl. The D-Mail that I thought had failed was actually a success. Could probably have told by the fact that Rukako's mannerisms and just something about her, now that this Rukako has been definitely confirmed to be female, we probably should have picked up on that. In fact, I did pick up on that. Unfortunately, Rintaro didn't.
女なのか
最初からそう言っとるだろ
Now would actually be a very good time to mention about the D-Mail. As angry as they are, we need to tell them about this little development. Half a second later, Kurisu cracks me over the head with a heavy textbook. And Rukako is still visibly upset. I believe mission failed, Rintaro. Good job. When my vision clears, Rukako is crying. Mayuri is rubbing her back comfortably. Kurisu, meanwhile, is glaring down at me like I'm something she scraped off the bottom of her shoe. Daru, who arrived a moment later, is in the corner trying not to laugh. Honestly, I can't blame him. Righteous high school girl made a perverted college guy beg for forgiveness. If I had to put a title to this scene, that's what it would be. The top of my head is throbbing. Yes, I imagine it is. Most likely because Kurisu wiped out 100 million of my precious neurons, envied by scientists all over the world. Neurons that you clearly failed to put 2 plus 2 together. I put a moist towel on my head. Maybe now is the time to explain the D-Mail experiment?
一度あんたの頭を切り開いて脳だけ取り出して、よく洗浄してやりたい気分よ。できればそのまま体に戻さず、培養液の中にぶち込んで、一生あんなハレンチな真似できないようにもしてやりたい。
And Kurisu's own insane mad yandere tendencies seem to be coming forth.
警察に突き出されないだけありがたいと思いなさい。
はい。すいません。
Would be a very good time to mention the D-Mail. Yes, indeed. I didn't think that the experiment would have worked, but apparently it did. Ruka was now biologically a girl. Female. Her appearance hasn't changed. Her bosom is relatively the same as she was when she was a man, even though, well, she is 16, 17 after all. She's still a teenager. But, Ruka Urushibara is now a girl. I guess that ridiculous superstition turned out to be true. If you eat vegetables, you will have a girl. Does this count as a scientific breakthrough? Anyway, I better apologize to Ruka. It's probably too late for that. Far too late. I hope she doesn't get PTSD because of me. I mean, she's a girl now, 17 years old, and she was shy to begin with. Also, the fact of taking into account her cruel and abusive sister. I'll need to be as gentle as humanly possible now. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she never spoke to me again, or Kurisu or Mayuri for that matter. I have no one to blame but myself. I'll just have to accept the consequences.
だいたいなんだって漆原さんが男の子だなんていう妙な妄想に取りつかれたんだ
Two words. D-Mail experiment.
それについては前にも言ったはずだ。D メールによる過去改変だよ。ルカ子は男だったが、女の子になりたいという願いをもとに D メールを送り、それは成功した。
This is a different worldline.
世界線が変わったその瞬間を俺は確かに認識していた。すなわちマガンリーディングシュタイナーによってな。
Probably should have omitted reading Steiner, to be perfectly honest. But,
その点については反省せねばなるまい。俺はもっと自分の持つ特殊な力を信じるべきだったと。
should probably mention the fact that the male Ruka is visibly similar to his now female counterpart. Kurisu calmly readies her book above her head.
また食らいたい
She clearly doesn't believe us.
いや、本当なんだ。これについては信じてくれ。
But then again, it is our fault for what happened to Ruka. It's not our fault that your memories get completely and absolutely rewritten every single time the world line changes. That's not our
この現象を理論
fault.
立てて説明するとだ。D メールを送るたび、この世界が辿ってきた歴史が変わる。つまり過去が変わる。それを俺の脳は知覚できるのだよ。
Yeah, we probably should have mentioned all this before and would have saved ourselves a huge set of awkwardness.
世界中でこの俺だけがインガリスの変化を認識できる。そう。例えるなら、俺はこの世界の観測者ということだ。
We should probably mention about Faris's changes to the world line as well. I look around expecting to see awe on their faces. They're not happy with us, especially after what has just happened.
いいから座れ
I do as I'm told, like a puppy dog.
観測者、すなわち量子力学的に言うところのシュレディンガーの猫の実験における箱を開ける人なのだぞ。
And I'll let you read, hold on, I'll let you read, pause the video and read the thing about Schrodinger's cat, which is apparently is an example of quantum theory. But according to Albert Einstein, it's yeah, it's an irrelevance.
シュレ
Don't think about it too much,
うわ
Mayuri.
出たよシュレディンガーの猫
Yeah, probably should never have mentioned the
日本
cat.
人のシュレディンガー好きは異常
Apparently it's very popular in Japanese anime
あん
culture.
たも日本人だろ。
もううんざりって感じっすわ猫が可愛いのは認めるがな
That doesn't help. Daru's absolutely right. Whenever an anime wants to talk about quantum mechanics, they always use Schrodinger's cat.
とにかく俺はそういう特殊な力を宿す魔眼を持っている。その名をリーディングシュタイナーと呼ぶことについては以前説明した通りだ。
Clearly
そ
they
の
don't believe
リーディン
us.
グしたいなって名前、バカっぽいからやめろって私も以前言ったはずよね。
Name aside, Rintaro does possess the
い
unique
かにも和製英語って感じ。漫画の必殺技みたい。
he does possess the ability to actually perceive the change in the worldline's
文法と
divergence.
しては破綻してるし、シュタイナーがシュタインのことなら前半は英語で後半はドイツ語とかむちゃくちゃだわ。
Yeah, Rintaro is a bit all over the place when it comes to
ちなみに
naming
これは
things.
シュタインズゲートだっけ？それにも言える。
まだまだ伝部の猛虎犯が取れぬようだな、クリスティーナよ。
Should probably not antagonize her at this
ネ
point.
ングは五感がすべて。かの天才レオナルド・ダ・ヴィンチにも被験する俺の想像力は文法などというつまらない決まり事に縛られたりはしないのだ。
And too late. She hits me again with the book. I'm seeing stars.
少しは反省しろ。
すいません。
I don't think they'll ever forgive us for this, Rintaro. Ruka is still crying. As punishment, I spend the next 30 minutes on my knees under Kurisu's watchful eye. If I slouch for a second, I get the corner of her book. I'd accept being told die pervert if it were coming from Ruka, but why is Kurisu butting in? I don't think that's the point, Rintaro. Does she think she's one of those class president characters? Anyway, I flee the lab as soon as my punishment is over. The silent pressure from the girls is too much to bear. I step into the sun and stretch. My legs are numb from the kneeling, so I can barely stand straight. And with that, I believe this is a good place to end the episode. So when we return, hopefully Rintaro has recovered from his cruel and unusual punishment, courtesy of Kurisu Makase. As always, until next we meet, adventurers.